Hi and welcome to another episode of the Real Gym Experience UK. And today we've got a very special guest, IFBB Pro Paul George. Hi Paul, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure, thank you for having me.
Recently Paul got in touch and said to me that he'd like to start training at my gym. So Paul's now a member at Jays Gym, which we're really happy about. And I asked Paul if he'd take part, so we're really pleased to have you on here, Paul. Obviously the show's about gyms. And Paul doesn't, I was going to say Paul doesn't own a gym. He does own a one-to-one training gym, but he owned the Olympic gym in Eccles for 28 years. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So, now, Paul, so could you talk us through sort of your beginnings as far as when did you start training?
Good question. It would have been very late 70s or early 80s, something like that. I used to play a lot of other sports. I was really good at rugby, and then I started to facilitate my rugby training with weight training. And then I found out I got better at the weight training than I did at the rugby. So I just switched that. And then weight training just became what I did most of. And then from there, I kind of, I was still working at the time. So I gave up work, went back to university, started to get a degree, and that's when I set up the Olympic gym.
What did you get a degree in, Paul?
Business and leisure studies. I knew how to run a gym because I'd worked there for a couple of years, so I knew the ins and outs of business,
right? But
not business, right? So I didn't know about VAT, tax returns, all that kind of stuff. So it's things like that I needed to learn up on. So that's basically what I did.
Right.
And then we went in at ground floors. I bought this gym out. I had to train at the gym anyway, the Olympic gym. So I kept the same name as it was anyway. And then we just moved forward from there, really. So
you took over, that was already established?
It was. The guy who owned it, I bought it off him. And then I was there for 28 years.
So who was the guy who owned it before you?
Was a guy called Paul Sears.
Was he a bodybuilder?
Sort of. He did a bit of this and a bit of that, so we don't really need to.
And was it a bodybuilding gym?
It was a big gym. It was already set up as a bodybuilding gym, and then I just over the nearly 30 years, I just expanded it massively. Yeah, till it became. It was everything I needed. Yeah, and I say because I wanted to improve as a bodybuilder. That's what I wanted to do. So I needed all the things I needed to get better. Yeah. So everybody benefited from what I bought because it was what made me good. Yeah. And so by design, everybody else was there trained on the same things I trained in.
I think that's a good philosophy. If you're a competitive bodybuilder like you are, and the gym has everything you need, it therefore has everything that your members need, doesn't it? So
and as I bought new stuff in, I was horrendous for the first 5, maybe 10 years. Every now and then I would just go, just change everything around. I'd group things in groups. So like you'd have all your chest and you'd have all your back and all that. And then some days I'd just go, I want to change my routine now. So I want to superset this and I want to do that. So that's too far away. So I'd move that over to here, move that over to there, move that over there. And then people would come in and be going, oh, you've done it again. Where's this? It was my fun, because I went there on yourself, you run a gym. And you kind of say it's a business, but it's not a business because you can't not be there. So a business is something you can go away and let somebody else run. Yeah. But when it's your thing, you just do it. So, the fact I'm there so long made me think, well, while I'm here, I might as well make it enjoyable. You know what I mean? So I just made things in groups and clusters and stuff like that. So that's basically what we did.
So just going back to the beginning, when did it open? How long was it a gym before you took over?
2 years.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Right. So it was fairly newly established.
It was fairly new, So I just.
And then how did it come about? Where was he wanted to sell it?
He was just selling it, and I said, right, I'll buy it. So it was as simple as that. You know what I mean? Just in the right place at the right time, really. Right. So. And then
so was that the first gym you ever trained at?
No, gosh, no. I'd been training since. I mean, I was in my 30s then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So let me think. The first ever gym. First ever gym. Well, it's there'd be one in Irlam called BJ's. I think it was a BJ or BT's, I can't remember. Brian and Terry's, I think it was. And that was the old fire station down in Irlam. But I think I had to train at another one where in Eccles used to be a chemical company called Lancro, and they had their own workers' gym. And a mate of mine who I used to knock around with, he trained there because he worked there. So it was something like that kind of scenario. It wasn't, because way back in the day, we didn't have the gyms we have now anyway.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
So it'd be like backyard gyms or somebody else's garage gyms. So that would probably be it. One in Irlam, then I trained at the big one in Salford, Flex and Tone.
Flex and Tone, all right. You were there for it. How long were you there for?
A couple of years on and off kind of thing. And then I went to Muscle and Fitness in Swinton.
Okay.
You know that one?
I've not heard of that, no.
It's I think it's called Muscle and Fitness.
Is it still going?
Yeah, I think so. It's on the top of Station Road. Gavin, somebody else, I can't remember his name. So I did quite a spell there. And then I thought, right, that's it. So I moved to the Olympic when it first opened. Then we bought it, and then 28 years later on, I sold it on, and so there we go.
Right.
So,
so you said you were playing rugby. You took on weight training. You enjoyed it. What age were you?
Got to be initially early 20s, I would think.
Right.
And then I had a time away from everything.
Did you?
Because I discovered sex, drugs, rock and roll, alcohol. And I just had maybe 5, 6, 7 years, something like that, where I just didn't do any training whatsoever. And I'm just living a bad life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Unhealthy.
So, unhealthy. Yeah. Not bad as in bad, but, I could have done better things. And
I
was just enjoying stuff, you know what I mean, like you do. And then I kind of thought I need to get myself back together, and then that was it.
Is that when you started training at Olympic Gym?
Probably before I went to Olympic, I got back into the swing of it, so it's hard to put times and dates correctly in a chronological order because it is so long ago, and I did mess myself up a bit.
So who was your early influence? Are we talking the usual? Is it the usual Arnold? And
I never liked Arnold per se because he was. It had to be achievable. Whoever you are and whatever you look at, you kind of migrate to what resonates with you. So I saw Arnold, but I never saw him. I liked Franco because he was strong. Yeah. Not because he had a great physique, but I admired more his strength stuff. Yeah. And also he was an amateur Sicilian boxing champion. Yeah. So, so he kind of spanned 2 or 3 different avenues. Yeah. It wasn't just one thing, Also, I think he won the world's first strongest man. Around that era.
I know he entered him,
I know he did his meeting doing the world's strongest man, but I think at one point, he won it. I could be wrong on that. You can correct me as we go along.
I think, was he carrying a fridge full of sand?
Yeah, and he tripped on the floor and dislocated his knee.
I think he won the Olympia after that with one leg bigger than the other, didn't he?
There's a lot of bodybuilders who one leg shorter than the other. I was discussing this last week.
Yeah, because Haddy was on about Haddy.
Yeah, and also Jay Cutler. Yeah, you look at his legs and you go, "That's not quite as big." Yeah. So, that's the thing with bodybuilding. Just to move it along a little bit, but symmetry and proportion has always been an identifiable thing, and no doubt we'll probably touch it a bit later on. But I think a lot of the aesthetics has gone from the Olympia type thing. Look at some of the other classes now, the classic and the physique and stuff. You can see how they're dragging it back in a little bit. Yeah. But, symmetry and stuff like that is a thing that I did look at because I was never going to be the biggest bodybuilder. Yeah. In all the will in the world, I think my heaviest I ever got to was like 15 stone, I think, off season. Which is not a bad weight at 5'3".
That's a big weight at your height, isn't it?
But then when you drop it all down and you come in lean and, stuff like that. So getting back to idols would have been Mohammed Makoué, I thought was really good. Yeah. Lever Brada was really good. Yeah. Francois Benfaso.
Nice physique. Yeah.
Very, very classic. So I think them classic lines where people can move. And then you go to slightly heavier, and there's a guy called Rory Ladelmeyer. You may or may not remember
I know who
him.
He is, yeah.
And the other guy. it'll come back to me later.
So all these guys I'm picturing now, they're from the 80s, aren't they?
Yeah. That, you know, slimmer waist, maybe not as mass bound, but still carried quite. I mean, you know, if you want a mass monster at a short height, then you had Mohammed Benaziza.
Yeah.
You know, he was one of the only guys that ever beat Dorian.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and he was really short. You know, and then you've got Danny Padilla.
Yeah.
You know, so there's been lots of, you know, Flex Lewis. So there's been lots of short people that have been very successful.
Yeah.
But you just kind of think that idols are one of them things that you have to resonate with them.
Yeah.
You know, so I would never have been a Paul Dillett fan because he's so big.
It was a freak one, yeah.
Oh, it's just, you know, he's probably the biggest athlete ever on the stages, you know, shoulder width and things like that. And
when I first started, I always admired Sean Ray's physique, and that was the physique I thought was that was the North Star for me.
Yeah.
And I once said it to a lad near, and he was surprised. He went, "But he's 5'7" and you're 5'11", but it didn't matter to me. I just it was I'm not saying I would ever would have got there, but you have to have a North Star that you aim at, don't you?
And sure.
For me, originally, that was Sean Ray's physique.
You know, and what a person to look at.
Yeah.
You know, he was very unfortunate that certain other athletes were around at the same time.
Yeah.
And 2 or 3 years later, or 2 or 3 years earlier, he had him mopping up that stage.
Oh yeah.
But he was just successful at a time when other people were successful.
Yeah. He was. Think about it. He was around in Lee Haney's era, Dorian's era, and Ronnie's era, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Spanned three reigns, didn't he?
Yeah. You know, and that's owing to bridesmaid, never the bride. You know what I mean? So unlucky.
But you could say the same thing about Levrone, Flex Wheeler, Chris Cormier.
Yeah.
So many of them, weren't they, that they were outstanding, but there was just something in their way, wasn't there?
And I think we discussed as well the other week about why champions stay the champion so long.
Yeah, we were talking about mindset, weren't we?
Yeah, there's all of that, but also you can win something once because you could be lucky.
Yeah.
You can go back and defend it. That means you're really good. If you do it after that, anything more than 3 times means you're exceptional.
You solidified it, haven't you?
Yeah. You know what I mean? So when you start looking at some of these, you know, the top guys and run it 5, 6, 7 times on the trot, or maybe they lost one but gone back and regained it, there is something that separates them from the norm. And when I say the norm, they're still, you know, 1% of all the rest. But to be that good, to beat all of them others, means you are exceptional, and you have 100% of 100% things going right.
Yeah.
You've got the diet right, you've got your training right, you've got your mindset right, you've got the genetics, and everything else works for you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's in any sport, any discipline, the person that's at the top and consistently at the top will be the person that has everything.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why when they lose, it's such a shock, because you think they were invincible, they had everything, but it's on the day. Everybody can mess up on the day, you know.
So at what point were you a gym owner by the time you did your first show, or had you already competed before you owned the Olympic gym?
No, I'd competed. I think the first show I ever did, it got a bit really very, very early 80s. I can't remember, to be fair. I did Walter O'Malley's Spring Classic at Par Hall in Warrington.
Okay. Do you remember the year? What year?
I can't remember what year. It's got to be 82, 83, something like that. And I think, to be fair, I'd been training about 6 months. You know, and you think, right, I could do that. And
did you have some development like that?
I had a little bit. I had a little bit, but my ego was much more
you thought
advanced.
You were better than you were.
Yeah, for sure. And I got there and I was in the backstage training. I'm thinking, what the fuck am I doing here? You know,
you're out your depth.
Oh, so there's a guy walked past me and he was like, I thought, he can't be in my class. You know, I mean? So big. I mean, I did it and I saw the pictures and I just laughed and all that. And then I went away for 10 years.
Right.
And just and didn't do another show for 10 years.
Right.
Just because I realised that the gulf and the void was so big that that's what it took for me. You know.
Did anyone guide you into that first show? Or was it just you?
I just me being really, really kind of I can do this. I can do this. And I'm not saying it knocked me back down, but it did opened my eye to what it was. You know what I mean? And I'm glad I did it, because without it, the rest wouldn't have followed. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes you have to break things. You have to get outside of your comfort zone to achieve anything. If you stay in your comfort zone, you're never going to achieve anything. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to do, it had to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You have to break social norms to get outside of social constructs. And bodybuilding is a weird sport. If you were to, we're in it, we're heavily invested in it, and I've been for decades. But as an outsider, if you look into it and study what's going on, it is the biggest, most ludicrous pantomime you can imagine. You know, you're maked up, you got your skimpy, sparkly shorts on, and as an outsider, it's like, what's going on here? But you don't, when you're in it, you don't see that, because you see it for the purity of the sport, and it's so personal, because you're developing yourself, not to play a part in a team or a position or a thing. It is to make you the best that you can be, so you can present yourself on that stage.
Yeah.
There's a quote, and I can't remember who said it, and it was the art of studied arrogance. You know, and that's what it is. It's, oh, do I look good like this? No. Oh, I look better like this. So you're constantly looking at yourself in the mirror to find the best way to display what you've got. And then the training and the eating to facilitate the change and the growth that you need to make that physique the best physique you can.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all you can do. So when people ask about idols and stuff like that, you can't replicate them. You haven't got the bone structure, you haven't got the muscle structure, you haven't got anything else. So you kind of try and be the best version of you, which may facilitate you looking like them.
Yeah.
And that's the closest you're going to get.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a hell of a journey, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So 10 years, 10 years is a long time. I mean, I know you said you were behind the competitors and you felt that deficit, but 10 years is surely 2 years buckling down could have.
I don't think at the beginning I was doing things right. There was a lot of experimentation and things going on. And I didn't feel I wanted to get onto that stage unless I knew I was going to win or I was going to be close.
Yeah.
And in that 10 years, a lot of other things were happening. So it wasn't just like I went 10 years bodybuilding and that was it. I went 10 years living and bodybuilding and all the rest. It was a part of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, when thing comes in the way, you have to shelve certain things. You know, whatever your desires and your dreams are, sometimes they get taken away. Yeah. And you go, okay,
that's just like
reality. I have to do this. You know, and then you come back to it.
Yeah.
So that was probably it. May not. I mean, I say 10 years. It might have been 8. I am notoriously useless with time. You know, time my wife she'll say, "Oh, remember when we did this?" Oh, yeah, it was such and such. No. It's 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Yeah. I often describe the fact that I live like a dog and that I live in the moment.
Which is brilliant. If you
know what I mean? Yeah. I just, we did that? Okay, cool. When did we do that? And it's not important. The fact I've done it is like, okay, what's next?
Do you not think a lot about the past then?
Very rarely. Unless I don't realise how much I remember until somebody asks me something. Yeah. And then I go, oh, I was there. Somebody put on Facebook the other day, Sergio Olivier in Brussels, 1984 Olympia. And I went, I was there.
Were you?
I was there. And I'm looking at it, you can hear people shouting in the background. So I'm thinking, I'm sure that was me. Because it was so surreal. There were 3 of us that I used to work in this engineering factory. And we set off Friday, got to Brussels, saw the Olympia, and we got hammered. We got so drunk. And then we got a taxi from there. So where's outside that we can go and have a few beers with? He said, oh, I've got this place. So we went there. And it was like in the Spanish quarter of Brussels. So we went into this nightclub and we're the only white English people there because everybody else is just Spanish and Mexican and whatever. And it was like the best night we've had forever. It was so fun. Right. So fun. But it just, you know.
So that was before you went watching the show and then you went.
No, we saw the show. And then
we
saw the show and then went out for a night
out. And who won that year?
Oh, I can't remember. Okay. But I remember Frank Richards was in it. Mm-hmm. And I knew Frank quite well because when I set up the Olympic gym and I opened it, he came and opened it as a celebrity kind of thing.
Right.
So
Did he, what, he coming open to the gym?
Yeah. So like I say, I'd had it running for a year and I got him to come and open it and stuff like that. So I went to support him, kind of thing.
Can I ask you a question about Frank Rich? I don't know if you'll know it. I've asked one in a previous interview because he trains at O'Malley's. He trained at O'Malley's.
Yeah.
So I asked Tom Younger, who currently owns it.
Yeah.
I heard a story in here that he was in a bank once, and then these bank robbers came in and slashed him across his back, and it was while he was prepping for the Olympia. Do you know that story?
I know the story. I heard it was at a restaurant.
Oh, right.
And they mistook him for somebody else. Yeah. And that's the story. So
they slashed his back, and then he had to pull out of the. Is that what happened?
I know the story and I know the rumor. You heard it was in a bank. I heard it was in a restaurant. You know, it could be one of them urban myths, but I don't know. I couldn't qualify that as a legitimate.
So was he a bit of a friend of yours, Frank Richards?
Only for about a year or two when I was doing some training and stuff like that, and I met him and he came and
trained with him.
No, I never got to train with him. So, but he was so funny, really funny. But
did you have training partners?
I've had loads.
Have you?
I had loads, especially when I was when I started to win a few things, and I was really trying to be the best I could, and I would have a different training partner for a different day. So whatever I was weak on, I would find somebody that was stronger at me.
Wow! Right.
So I had a stronger bench presser, I was a guy with a stronger chest, back, somebody stronger, somebody with legs, better legs. So I would train with them, and then they would push me, they would push me, they would push me. Yeah. You know, and then just people would come along. I was never precious about training. You know what I mean? Some people go, oh, I can't do that, I've got to do this, you know, or whatever. But if somebody was there and they were capable and they wanted to jump in, by all means, jump in. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you're challenging me, I'm challenging them. It's a bigger organic thing, you know, that information doesn't belong to anybody, you know. So if you can pass something on and somebody can learn from it, that's great. The only thing, one thing I will say, that whenever I've asked for advice, as far as I'm aware, nobody's ever given me any bad advice. Right. You know, and you can go back and certain people say, oh, I asked a certain person a question and they give me bad information or this, that and the other. In all the years I've trained and all the people I spoke to and whatever, I'm not aware of anybody giving me any malicious information. That's brilliant. Yeah. So, you know, it's hats off to all them guys that were up to along the way.
Did you have a particular mentor at any point?
Not as such, no. I have been, and I probably still am. Sorry, English is not the best. I probably still am a very insular person. You know what I mean? So I can go days without talking to anybody. Yeah. I can sit in an empty room and not worry about it. You know, I don't need to be out socializing. So I don't need that company of others, you know, to pat me on the back or to say this or to say that kind of thing. So,
but if we're talking about getting ready for a show, you know, do you make all the decisions yourself?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, like I say, I would go and ask people, and they would give me advice, and I'd go away and practice it and try it and see it worked, and it did.
Because being a Manchester lad, I always wondered if you were ever part of Kerry Cage's stable, but we've discussed it. You weren't.
No, I knew Kerry really well through judging and stuff like that, and I remember a classic line. I think it was at Warrington, or it could have even been the British at Nottingham, I think. And I'd won, and he called me out to win. And I think it was like the third year on the trot when I'd won it, or something like that. And he said, no. I said, is there anything you haven't won? I said, yeah, I've not won the lottery yet. And I remember, it could have just come out with it. I said, yes, I haven't won the lottery, but I'm working on it. And he used to, above the Olympic gym, used to be a boxing gym. And Kerry was very into his boxing. Yeah. And so every now and then he'd come and see the boxing guy. And when he came to the big mill that we're in, he'd always pop his head in and say, how are you doing? Keeping well, all this, that and the other. Right. And even if it was just a 5 minute or 1 minute, he would always come past and say, how are you doing? Good, yeah, I'm going up there. And that was it. So,
yeah. You never went to your Better Bodies, did you?
No, I never did. I don't know why, for sure.
Did you do gym trips out?
Once I got the Olympic, no.
Right, no.
No. I may have done, but like I said, I get very insular, and I just didn't feel the need to. I did a couple. I went to see. I shouldn't do it because I can never remember people's names. Harold Marilia.
Oh yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah,
he had a gym down in New Forest.
Right. Yeah.
So I knew a guy that lived down there, so I went to see him, stayed with him for a couple of days, and then went to see Harold and trained at his gym there.
Was it a good gym?
It was a good gym. It was weird because it was right in the middle of the New Forest,
right?
And it was like a hunting lodge.
Did he have a tank? I'm sure he had a tank or something. I've seen pictures and poles on a tank. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember it being there. But yeah, I liked Harold a lot. He had a lot of time for him.
He used to pose to Ramstein, didn't he?
Yeah. At one point, I saw him at this show, and I just looked at him and I said, Harold, I said, you're the biggest man I've ever seen. He was so wide. He looked like he was 2 people wide. You know what I mean? He was like this. And he was just like, oh, thanks. I said, fuck me, mate, you're so big. And because we did some shows in Europe for the EPF, I think. And we got the airport got shut down. There's a big tropical storm. So it was all at the airport waiting to come home. And there was a pizza shop and an ice cream shop and 300 bodybuilders. And this pizza shop and ice cream shop just got demolished. Because it was just still there for like 12 hours or something. It's like, we need food. And they're like, just ate them out of everything. So it was funny.
What was dieting like for you? Was it a case of suffering?
I suffered well, to be fair. I was good at starving. And I think that was a two-edged sword. Because I could diet hard. But by the same thing, I couldn't eat hard. So I could never refuel enough.
Right.
Because I could never eat enough.
Never been a big eater?
Never. No. The fact I got to the size I did was like testament to my digestive system.
So in the off season, were you 6 meals a day?
Probably not. No. But I would try and make sure I got the calories in. So if it wasn't 6 meals, it might be 4 or 3. But I would try and have, 800 to 1,000 calories at a time kind of thing. So as long as I got 3.5, 4 in, I'd be fine. Anything more than that was a bonus. You know what I mean? So if I could get a couple of big meals in, then I'd have like 2 or 3 snacks.
Did you reach a plateau in your weight gain at all?
Like I said, the heaviest I ever got was about 14, 11. I think. Was
it linear though, going up to that, or was the plateaus where you struggled?
Yeah, it wasn't linear. I probably did it in purple patches. You know, when you're training going really good and you're smashing it and you go, yeah, and then all of a sudden it just stalls. My eating was the same. It kind of got like that and then stalled, and then got like that and then stalled. But that's down to, because I couldn't consistently eat. I would eat well for a couple of months or something like that, and then I'd fall off the wagon and then get back to eating again.
Yeah.
When you see some people and they're struggling to eat.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, God. And
it's just one of the hardest things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I said that to a lot of people. It's like, if you can eat, you'll get big.
Yeah.
I said, if you can't eat, you can't out-train a bad diet.
Yeah.
Whether you want to get big or whether you want to get lean, And I've often said to people, if you give me a skinny guy, politically correct, a fat guy, whatever you want to turn it on, I can get the fatter guy bigger and more muscular than I can get the skinny guy
bigger and muscular. Because the big one can eat. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's the crux. You look at all top bodybuilders at one point stop becoming human and become an eating machine.
Yeah.
And that's all they do. They'll just eat, sleep, train, eat, sleep, train.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the mechanics of it,
Yeah.
And whatever else you put into your system to facilitate that change. If you can have the best car, the best bike in the world, if you don't put fuel in that tank, it's going nowhere. And for whatever you want out of your system, if you don't fuel that, it's not going to go anywhere either.
Were you particularly choosy about the foods you ate, or were calories, or were you,
I was a bit prissy about it, to be fair.
Want some good stuff.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I mean, I could eat junk, but then I wasn't. See, a cheat meal. Say I was getting ready for a comp, which I would. My cheat meal was always a pizza and a cheesecake. Always. because I knew I could eat them, I could get the calories in, and I could digest it.
Mm-hmm.
Other things never seemed to work because A, I could never eat all of it, and B, I never felt I could digest it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So for me, it was simple that, and cheesecake is just simple fat sugars and stuff, and it just got in. So about an hour afterwards, I'd be so vascular, I'd be sweaty, and I'd be like, oh my God. But, you know, but that would be on the Sunday between 5 and 6 or 6 and 7. I had an hour. I didn't have a day. I had that time.
Right.
So that's why I said I'd have a full 12-inch thing in, a full thing. And I'd eat, which I might start with a cheesecake, eat the pizza, I'd eat the pizza and cheesecake. But once that time was up, it went in the bin.
Yeah.
So I couldn't go back to it.
Yeah.
You know, when you get them temptations and think, I could just have a bit more.
Yeah.
It'd be like, whatever the time scale is, in the bin, and away it goes. And that was it.
Right.
So.
And then did you train the next day usually?
For sure, yeah.
And you'd be full of energy from the...
Yeah. I mean, the thing with it, as you're dieting and you go through the week, once you've had your cheat meal, it's good. So you've got to do all your weaknesses the day after your cheat meal. Yeah. Because you've got the energy to do it. I was fortunate. I had pretty decent legs. My weak spot for me, my view of myself, was I never had a big enough chest and I never really had big enough arms. You know what I mean? So they were my two weaknesses. So, because my back, I got a really good back, legs, hamstrings, calves were really good. But I could have done with a much bigger chest and bigger arms.
What's your thoughts on training? Did it change or did you stay the same? What volume is it?
I've tried it all.
Oh, okay.
Every thing that you want to have a go at. You know, I would do minimalist. I'd try and get as heavy as I could, as quick as I could, and do a few sets. And that got me strong, but it didn't get me big. Right. And then I would do lots of volume. Right. Lots of exercises, superset, giant sets, you know, 10, 20, 30 reps per
And what did that give you?
Yeah, good shape, but I never got bigger. You know what I mean? And so I think for me, it's in the line in the middle. Yeah. Where, you know, it's enough sets to stimulate growth and enough reps that you can feel it. And then you have to go, right, do I stop now? Because have I facilitated enough growth now to stop? If I carry on, will I stimulate more growth? Or if I carry on, will I then start to atrophy? Yeah. And that's the hardest thing. I think the guys that can suss it out the soonest are the guys that are going to get the biggest, quickest. For their individual body. Yeah. Yeah. But it's so, you can't look at anybody. I mean, there are probably tests you can do now in clinics and whatever, where you take muscle fibers and you take this and that, and you can work on it and go, right, okay, this is the rep range, because your legs will be different than your arms will be different than your back. Yeah. So each muscle will have a different stimuli. Yeah. So if you want to work on that, then that's what you have to do. But individuals, I mean, I get what you're saying there, but individuals, someone might be like a high anxiety person, someone might be a very chill person. Yeah. That chill person, I would think, could handle more volume, perhaps because they're more... Could be, but you don't know unless you look at the red fiber, white twitch fibers to see what they are. Yeah, Just because they're relaxed doesn't necessarily mean that the physiology is relaxed. It just means that the brain is. Yeah. I'm talking about stuff like sleep. If a person's a good sleeper or not. Oh, like if someone's not a good sleeper, I wouldn't think they should do loads of volume because they're not going to come back from it, are they? No. Were you precious about your sleep? I was fortunate that I could cat nap in the afternoon. When you've got your own business, I was going to ask if you had naps. Yeah. Well, I'd be up early. I used to do my cardio very, very early. And then I'd have something else to eat and whatever. And then it depend on who I was with. So I've trained early in the morning. I used to train around about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I used to train in the evening. Not all at the same time, but over the years. Yes. I've tried... Depending on who I'm training with and what their work schedule was and whatever. So I could train in the morning, or different set of training partners would train in the afternoon, and then we would, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, I could train in the evening as well. So I'm not great first thing in the morning. I can do the cardio, but I can't lift weights in the morning. Fasted cardio? No, I didn't believe in fasted cardio. You didn't believe in it, do you not? No. I thought, I've just been asleep for however many hours, I need something to get me going, even if it's only a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, whether I'm just psychological.
Yeah.
But for me, I didn't like, you know.
Did you do a lot of cardio?
I did probably more than I should have done.
Right.
But that's a learning curve, isn't it?
You used to bring incredible condition, didn't you? You know?
Yeah, I did. But like I say, I used to like my cardio. I think we talked about this the other day when we was in. And I was getting ready for the competition. And when I had the big gym, I'd put a little light on it. All the cardio stuff had been in an area about the size we've got here. And there was big windows and it looked out and it was like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, middle of winter, it's dark and it's cold and it's wet. And I'm there listening to my music and I just start laughing at myself and thinking, what are you doing? I'm looking up the gym. It's like this, there's lights on and lights off and nobody else is in. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? This is just madness.
Yeah, everyone else is asleep.
Madness. Yeah, I could be tucked up. And at that point, I just thought, this is just robotic.
Yeah.
Because you eat, sleep, repeat.
Yeah.
Eat, sleep,
but
train,
what
repeat.
you said earlier in this interview, nothing is achieved inside your comfort zone. And there you are outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, for sure.
Achieving great things, which you did in your bodybuilding career. You know.
Yeah. You know, it was good. I mean, just to move away from the bodybuilding to about training and things like that. When I got into powerlifting, we used to train a lot more in the evening,
right? Because
everybody else was working. You know what I mean? So, and the bodybuilding crew seemed to be a different animal than the powerlifting ones. They all had kind of different jobs and different timescales.
Right.
So Friday used to be everybody getting together because it used to be Deadlift Friday at the gym, and we would start probably 3 o'clock, 3:30. Deadlifting, so whoever else would just start and we'd get going, and somebody else would turn up and join in, and then somebody else would turn up and join in, and so we could still be deadlifting by about 7 o'clock,
right? Because
so many other people. We had this big crew of deadlifters, something around probably 15 at one point. There was loads of us, and so we would the bar would be loaded, and we used to have a couple of bars to be fair. So we'd have a heavy bar and a light bar, and then we'd start, and then people would come in and go and come and go and come and go. And it was just a wonderful collective of people because we was all in it for the same thing.
Yeah.
Nobody was dieting. Nobody was stressed. It was just, how much can you lift? How many reps are you going to do with this? Right, I'm going to do this and do this. And we worked on form and technique, and we'd have sumos and conventional lifters. We'd be using bands and chains and blocks and all sorts of things. So although it's a single movement, but the variation and variety was really good. But the people were just so much more fun.
Were these at your gym?
Yeah, that was at the Olympic gym.
So you had a mixture of bodybuilders and powerlifters.
Yeah. We had. I mean, the thing as well, because Tan did a bit of bodybuilding, but then she moved more into powerlifting. And when I retired, to be fair, because of Tan powerlifting, I went into powerlifting because I thought I can't just not
do anything.
So I started doing some bits, but I didn't expect to achieve anything in powerlifting, to be fair. I knew I was strongish, but I didn't know. I'd never looked at what records were or whatever. So within about a year or so of not bodybuilding, I kind of moved into the powerlifting kind of thing. And I just found I was good at that. For a few years, I was kind of really good. British European records. I had a world record. So it was good. And then I think because I've done so many reps and things as a bodybuilder, I think it caught up with me. I think if I'd done the powerlifting first and gone into bodybuilding, it might have been a better thing. But I think my joints and my tendons and everything had worn out by then. So I only had probably, 5 or 6 good years as a powerlifter. And then it started to kind of...
You told me about an injury in your leg.
Yeah.
Will you tell the story of what you did?
It'd been niggling me for a while, and Tansy Dish will go, you should have gone and get it sorted. But it was at a European competition, and we was warming up on squats, and you've got 2 or 3 monoliths. You remember the World Championship, there's every day there's like hundreds. And so you can't, because it's a 7-day event, so it goes on and on and on. So you've got to be careful of what you're doing and how you're doing it, kind of thing. And I'd already warmed up on a couple of squats, and I'd moved up to a slightly intermediate bar. and then there was a heavy bar. So I said, what's on that? And he went, oh, it's 240 or something like that. So I'd done 180s, 200, 220, and this was supposed to be 240 or something like that. I thought, okay, I'm opening it somewhere around there. So I said, right, I'll jump on there. So I waited my turn and came in and wrapped myself up when I got under the bar, went down, well, fuck me, this is heavy. And then I came back up and I'm like, wow, pulled my leg there. I thought, that's heavy, that. Anyway, it turns out it was 260.
Right.
So I can do 260.
Yeah, but if you know about it.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be 240. It's going to feel like this. I'm going to come up quick and I'm going to do that and whatever. And then because it was, you know, and I just thought, oh. Anyway, so it pulled this muscle in my leg. And I didn't really think much about it. And it's, you know, I did that. And then it never really went away. And I don't think I ever remedied it. Right. So I'm thinking that this muscle here now is the arbiter of why my hip and my knee don't work so well.
I've noticed you walk with a bit of a limp.
Yeah, I mean, some days it's good and some days it's bad. Some days it's in my hip, some days it's in my knee, sometimes it's like, oh my God. So, but you know, but when I considered how many reps and how much I've lifted over the years, you know,
you put your body through.
Yeah, you know, I'm lucky it's only that. You know what I mean? I've never really, well, go on.
Sorry, what do you think of gyms? And so you know, you had your gym 28 years.
Yeah.
What was it like being a gym owner? I think like I do these videos because I think the young generation now perhaps not giving gyms like this a chance as much. There's different type of gym opening that are they're not comparable in the sense that they're apples and oranges, they're different things.
Yeah.
People don't necessarily realise they're different things, but they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you know, there's community in gyms like ours, isn't there? And did you have a good community at Olympic Gym?
Oh man,
friendships.
The only thing I miss about that is the crap we had.
Yeah.
You know, I had a morning crew, afternoon crew, and then 5 o'clock you'd have your workers coming in.
Yeah.
And if you got there late, you'd miss something. Yeah. It was one of them that there was some people that you just knew they would bring something in with them.
Characters.
And you'd be thinking, oh, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? But looking back on it now, it was annoying at times, but everybody's annoying at times. But I wouldn't have changed it. Looking back, I wouldn't have changed it. There were so many people that were so funny. We had everybody and everything. You know, I mean, there was tall, little, fat, skinny. It's just, you know, it's just a variety of people. You know it yourself. Yeah. You've got characters in here, and I think you, as a person, you can come to this gym, or you could have gone to the Olympic, and you can express yourself.
Yes.
You can be who you want to be. You might annoy a few people or whatever, but people are tolerant. Yeah. And it's like, Andy, shut up. This guy, he was a lorry driver. I think he used to drive all day, not speak to anybody. And he would come in and he would just unload everything. Come out, like, but his mate Gaz was so funny because he hardly spoke. He was just like, right, okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the two of them, this juxtaposition of talking, not talking, was so funny. But we had, like I said, there were loads of people that were just so
through
funny.
That 28 years, did you have like people who stayed with you throughout the whole?
I had families.
Yeah.
I had families. There was
different generations.
Yeah. I had a lad called Steve, who used to train. And then he had a son, and son would come every now and then do a bit. But then I caught him one day, because we have an outside fire escape, and I used to stand on it watching the world go by. And I looked down one day and this lad's there with a group of kids messing about. I said, "Oi, you, get up here." I said, "What are you doing causing trouble there?" I said, "Get up here now." So he came in. I said, "What are you doing with them?" He said, "Oh," I said, "Nah," I said, "You're going to get into trouble." I said, "Come on in." So we got him into the gym, started training. And then I trained with him for like 10 years. He became part of the staff. He worked, he did everything. And then he met a girl, had a family, whatever, and then just generation to generation.
You've changed someone's life in that instance, haven't you? Like, you know.
Yeah, I think so.
Contributed to
it. Yeah. But
one of my members, he works in a hospital, and he was just saying to me the other day, he does different shifts, and he was doing a morning shift. And he said, when I'm there, he said, I'm wondering, who's at the gym now? What am I missing out on? You know, that's people miss the gym, don't they?
Yeah.
You wouldn't get that in these big commercial warehouses with no atmosphere in that. It's not the same as it.
No, I think we have to be careful that we don't do them a disservice, because they're busy and they have people. So it might suit them. It doesn't suit us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think there will always be a place for this, because we're outliers. Rather this extreme or that extreme.
But then gyms like this are closing now. We're losing gyms like this, aren't we?
I know, but what can we do? If I started the Olympic gym, I'd be in exactly the same position you are.
Yeah.
And I'd be thinking, how do we get customers in? What can we offer?
Well, that's why we do this channel, to let people know and see.
Yeah.
I don't know how many episodes we've done, but you're maybe the 10th or 11th gym owner, and obviously you're just another gym owner who's sound as, which they all have been. Every one of them has been.
Yeah.
And we've had a reputation in, I don't want to train at Jays, it's a meatheads gym and this, that and the other. But people not understanding that these are the friendliest gyms.
Yeah.
We've had lads coming here from the leisure centre and they said, I just wished I'd come sooner. But they didn't come because they thought it was going to be full of attitude and ego.
Yeah.
Which is not the case.
I've had that leveled at me. I used to be awkward and stuff like that, but that's because I wanted the gym to be in a certain way. I want people to have respect for each other, stuff like that. And so if you can't work like that, then you're going to have an issue, because that's the way you are. But I've had a lot of other people come in and say, oh, they said you were this, you said you were that, but they come, they've trained, and they've met other people, and they've got, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's a different thing. And I still meet people now, way after I've sold the gym and stuff like that, and they say, I remember when you said this and you did that, and I thought, why is he saying that? I said, but then I've gone to other gyms. Realised that the weights are all over the show.
You're not being an arsehole. You want the gym orderly for you. You want it orderly for you.
I mean, I've had people that have fallen out with me, gone somewhere else, because they thought it were better, and then come back and said, you know what, I apologise, you were right. I said, because I can't train at them other gyms. Because they just, nobody gives a shit. The plates everywhere. The attitude's all wrong. And it's like, I said,
a gym that's tidy and organised benefits everyone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So when you ask people to put the plates in, you're not being awkward with that individual. No. You want a better gym for them, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, we had the thing was like, if somebody asks you, you have to spot them. You can't just go, oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm doing that. Mate, spot him. Because in a bit, you're going to need him next time. You know what I mean? So, and also, if you don't know him and he's actually at a spot, you go, what's your name again? Right, Bob. I'm going to do this. Can you just help me with that? And then you know him.
Yeah.
And then next time he'll know you. And it's a way of introducing yourself to everybody.
Yeah.
So, at one point I banned phones, I think.
Did you?
I had a big counter, and I had all these boxes like pigeon covers, pigeonholes, and people are coming around, phone. Put all your phones away. So
that's brilliant.
I said, because you don't need them. I said, you've had all day to be on your phone or to do whatever. Turn them off and put them on there.
There's something a famous saying by Lee Priest where it says, unless you're a brain surgeon on call.
You don't need it. And it's like, sit down, sitting on a bench, talk to somebody. I didn't want to see this.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it didn't happen, because it did. But I think it happened less because of it. And I think it stayed a better gym for longer because of it. So
you sold your gym in the end, didn't you? And then did you continue to train there?
Well, my intention was to stay and still train there and do other bits and pieces, but the situation became untenable, and they were changing too much of it, and it's like, and somebody said this to me before I'd actually done it, and he said, remember, I said, if you sell it, you can only sell it once.
Yeah.
I said, and when it's gone, you have no claim over it, no nothing.
Yeah.
I said, so if you can't abide by that, either don't sell it or walk away from it. Yeah. And I thought, you know what, I can do this. I can sell it. And they were right. And so within about a month, it was like, nah.
I can imagine that being really hard. If I sold this place and I still trained and people start changing things.
It's like your favourite pub. You go to the pub and you've been in for 10 years and you know landlord and landlady and whatever. And then they sell it and you think, oh, we're still going to the pub. And you go in and they've taken the jukebox out and they put another one in. And your dartboard's gone, but they put a pool table in. And the chair that you used to sit in, that's gone. And you think, it's not a pub anymore, is it? It's all changed. Yeah. And that's how I kind of felt with it. And I thought, I've got to go. So I found a little unit, which is probably only 500 square foot. But I started carrying on with one-on-ones kind of thing. And then I had a 2-year lease with that. And then that came to an end. I thought, oh, what do we do now? So then I found a bigger place. I didn't really want a bigger place, but you know, it's all I could find at the time. So we've moved now to Irlam, and we have this bigger place called the Unit, and I work out of there. But the thing with that is Tan has a band, so the extra space she sets up with the band. They do all the band practices there. We've started putting some secret gigs on.
Right.
So every month I have to roll up everything, all the mats, all the bars, all the plates, just hide them and make this big stage, and we dress it all up with lights and stuff like that. And then like this, we've got settees and chairs, so we put them all out. So it's really, really very friendly, very like just chilled, relaxed. So we have gigs in there. And
so you're doing a lot of PTing now?
No, I was, but it's kind of drifted off a little bit. To be fair, I'm kind of really lazy, but I do need to pick up a few more. So we're getting near to Christmas now, so
if
I'm going to be
someone watching this wants you to PT and they're from that area, how can they get in touch with you?
If you go on to Facebook and find the Unit.
The Unit?
Yeah, find it there.
Unit Irlam.
Irlam, yeah. Mm-hmm. And my phone number's on the bottom of that, so just give me a buzz.
Yeah, and get one of the best, one of Britain's best bodybuilders putting you through your workout.
Yeah, well, bodybuilding, powerlifting. I mean, when I had the bigger gym, I trained lots of athletes, from archers, judo, football, rugby, cyclists, long distance runners. So,
right,
you know what I mean? So bodies are a body in it, and you just have to work out what it is that they're going to do,
right,
and work out the best way. I mean, we call the internet and all that, but you can find a million exercises that are very specific to whatever you want to do. Mm. Whether you can then transfer what you've learned into practical terms to give it to somebody else to do, then that's dependent on you, innit? Yeah. You know, there's lots of people out there saying that they can do X, Y, and Z, but they haven't got the skills, they haven't got the social skills, they haven't got anatomical skills to pass the information on.
You can be good at something but not be able to teach it. Yeah, I'd say for sure.
Yeah.
So now you're at Jays Gym. You've been here a while, haven't you? It was good because when you first come in here a few weeks back, Sean Price was in and he competed against you.
Yeah.
So
we've had a few conversations, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's really an honour to have you here. Really pleased you're
part of it. It's been my pleasure. Like I say, I needed somewhere like this, but because it's not a fair way away, but it's a good way away from where I live. But I didn't want to go to anywhere where I was too known.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Nowadays I could probably. I'm not the person I was, so I don't walk into a room and everyone goes, "Oh, it's him," because I was recognisable at the part, because I had the physique and I had this and I had that, and I didn't have the beard, so I could probably pass quite unnoticed to most places. But for me personally, the fact I've got a mate called Brandon Lilly. I don't know if you know him. He used to be a massive big powerlifter in America, and I've known him for years. I went and trained with him and holidayed with him and stuff like that, and he came over and did some stuff. And he used to train at Westside Barbell. I don't know if you come across that. Yeah, Lewis Simmons and stuff like that. And so he was there when that was, it's still big now, but when I met Brandon, Westside was massive. They were doing all the conjugate training and all these other stuff, and Brandon was a part of that. And he lived 2 hours away.
Right.
So he would drive 2 hours to train for 2 hours, and drive 2 hours back.
Yeah.
3 times a week.
Wow.
And I'm not saying I have to do this, but I have to. If I'm going to travel from here to there, I'm going to put the effort in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And from the first workout I did to the second to the third, and probably the last one we did last Wednesday was the best one. And incrementally, I'm trying to pick the pace up, 0.5% here, 1% there, this, that. And just because if I'm going to do it, then I have to put the effort in.
Yeah.
And that's what Brandon said. He wanted to be the best in the world at the time. So if you're prepared to drive 2 hours, maybe longer, to train, you're not going to go there and sit on your ass and go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's 2 hours away. Yeah. I've got to make this effort and then go back. And then when I went over to Kentucky to spend some time there with him and his family and stuff, and he once said, I had to leave his home life was really idyllic. It's on a farm, and it's in the middle of the country, and this and that, and it's a big family, and they're all quite tight and close. And I was there, and I looked at him, and I said, I see why you had to move. I said, because you can't be a badass in this environment.
Yeah.
Because everybody was nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like,
Yeah.
oh, do you want some of this? Do you want that? And he
Yeah.
my dad were really good and all of it. And I said, I see why you have to move, because you've got the psyche, you've got to be angry. You know, you're getting under 800-900 pound squats, you know, 1,000 pound squats and deadlifts. You can't be fluffy bunnies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got to be tearing the ass out of it, you know. And so, and I've met a few people that were like that, getting back to the sacrifice and taking yourself out of a comfort zone and being in this and doing that. So, yeah, we've gone down the rabbit hole there now. But you get the point.
It's brilliant. And I get everything you're saying. People travelling to the right gym because it suits your needs.
Yes.
You know,
it
doesn't have to be the one at the end of your street if that's not the right one for you. You know, I've got a lad in here, he catches 2 buses here and 2 buses home, and he has done for years, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, the right gym is going to get the best out of you, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So, tricky.
That's great, Paul. Thank you for firstly for choosing our gym.
No, it's my pleasure. I'm glad I came. I'm glad I made the effort.
Thank you for giving up your Sunday afternoon to do this chat.
Thank you for you.
Thank you, Paul.
My pleasure. Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks, guys, for watching. Please comment underneath, like and subscribe. Help us to keep the channel growing. Another great episode. Thanks.
My pleasure. My pleasure.